Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast. We are live Tuesday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. Today, we will be talking about listening to your heart's truth. Listening is an essential skill in all areas of your life, especially when it comes to hearing yourself. When you listen to your heart, you are hearing your soul. Discover what your heart is calling you to do and how you can move towards those desires to create an inspired and empowered life. Together, let's create a life you love. I'm your host, Nanci Deutsch, licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive breakthrough expert. I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to transform and inspire and empower you. This show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling. It is for educational purposes only. And I see that we have Allie in the house. Good morning, Allie. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is define, what do I really mean by your heart's truth? So when you are feeling and connecting with your heart, and really this is about feeling, not thinking. And it's tuning into your intuition, tuning in on those deeper levels. And your heart knows your deepest truths. Your heart knows. And when I talk about your heart's truth, it's about you knowing, feeling, understanding, believing what your soul is guiding you, is speaking to you through your heart. And the definition of truth, it's the body of things being real, events, facts, actuality, sincerity in action, character, utterance. Now, this is about you, and this is about your heart, and this is about what your truth is. And now there's universal truths, and universal truths are true for everyone. And then your heart is guiding you to your destiny. Your heart is speaking to you, allowing your soul. It's one of the ways that your soul speaks to you and shares its information is through your heart. And you are guided towards your destiny through your heart. Your heart knows what is for your highest and greatest good. Your heart knows the best direction for you. Your heart knows what is right for you right now. Your heart knows whether you are meant to stay or to leave. And that can be a relationship, a job, a situation that you're in. And your heart knows what is what you are guided to manifest for yours and the greatest, highest, and greatest good for all. And so, what you really want to do is ask for clarity and being able to understand and ask for clarity and connection to your truth. And it's being able to become, and I'm going to give you some steps to listen to your heart's truth. So, and as always, if there are any questions that anybody has, definitely ask any questions that may be coming up for you, whether you're, and if you're not clear what I mean by your heart's truth, definitely I want to hear and support you in having a deeper understanding of what I am talking about so that you can tune in and tap into your heart's truth. So, steps. The first step is that conscious awareness. And when you have conscious awareness, then you can start to become aware of what is happening for you in this moment. So, in order to listen to your heart, you need to be able to hear and to quiet your mind. Remember, I said your heart, it's about feeling this truth. It's about tuning in and sensing beyond the thoughts. Now, your thoughts, when they're coming from your intuition, that's one thing. But if your thoughts are in chatter mode and you're thinking, and I see the question from Country Corners, and I'll get to it in a moment. If you're in that thinking mode, you're not going to be able to really hear what I mean by this. So, Country Corners Gazette, can you define heart's truth for us, please? Just to make sure we get it. Okay. So, when I'm talking about your heart's truth, I'm talking about a destiny. And okay, I'll give you an example. On some level, I always felt like I needed to speak and I needed to teach. And I knew this from actually a fairly young age. When I was a teenager, I used to imagine before I went to bed at night, I would imagine that I was speaking to people, lots and lots of people. And I didn't know how that would be. And believe me, I still love speaking. I love speaking live. And this show is a platform for me speaking and teaching because that's what I just love. So my heart's truth was being able to serve people and humanity by sharing my wisdom, sharing my knowledge, and sharing my love through that knowledge and wisdom. Because the other thing that I really want you to know is your heart speaks through love. And so your heart's truth is going to be something that is you sharing your love in some way. So my love was speaking, and I wanted to share how people can love each other and that we're all equal. And I've always believed that information, those universal facts. But it was this place of just this deep sense of urge that it was, on some level, it was so powerful and so deep. I knew it was my destiny. And again, I didn't know how that was going to manifest. So here I was being guided by this sense of love and wanting to make a difference and wanting to help change this world in a positive way. My heart was calling me to do this. Now, I will tell you, even though I was feeling on such a deep level that I wanted to make this impact by speaking, when I was in college and I was in school I went to a class on public speaking. And that during that class, I discovered how fearful I was of public speaking. I couldn't do it. I was freaking out. So here, on the one hand, I had, oh, my heart wants to speak and teach and share. But on the other, in college, I was freaking out. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And so what ended up happening was so there was always this calling inside of me. It was my heart's truth. And I didn't know how it was going to manifest. And then what happened was I got a job doing events. Originally, it was events at a Jewish community center, and I was forced to speak in front of people. And what started happening was I started getting more and more comfortable speaking. And then I started seeing a need. I mean, I was just talking about events, and then I started seeing a need in what was going on with the people at the events that I was doing. I was doing single events and I was doing parenting events. And I started seeing these needs happening. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start speaking. And so this was back in the early 90s. I started speaking. And I have been speaking since. And what has happened now, and I'm not going to tell you that I don't get a little nervous before I go on, but when I'm in my element, I'm loving it. My heart is happy. Like I love teaching you. I love sharing my wisdom. I love sharing my knowledge. And I love when you ask questions, because then it gives me a ability to clarify, and it gives me ability to tell stories if I wasn't planning on it. I wasn't planning on telling that story, but I was being guided to. So let me know if that makes it clearer for you what I mean by your heart's truth. And when I say it's your destiny, now here's the thing, and I will tell you, I actually did a TikTok and posted, and people were saying, well, I don't know what my destiny is. I don't know what my heart's truth is. You don't always know it. Okay, Country Corner says, I think it helped. Thank you. Good. Glad. So if you don't know what your destiny is, if you're not sure. Now, some people have a sense of knowing it. Like I was lucky and I knew it from a young age that I had a destiny to fulfill. Not all of you will know what your destiny is. There are times what happens is that your soul has certain lessons. There are certain things that maybe you need to clear, or lessons you need to learn before you uncover your truth, your heart's truth, your soul's truth. And remember, it's one and the same, but sometimes I like to say both. And so if you're one of the people that are not sure what your heart is saying, what your soul is trying to let you know, what your next step is, what your mission is, what your passion is, what your destiny is. Okay, now sometimes I will also tell you that you may not know your whole destiny. You just need to take the next step. And I don't mean just, I mean taking the next step may be what you need in order to keep moving forward to listen to your heart's truth. So the first thing is to, like I said, the conscious awareness. And the conscious awareness, what I mean by conscious awareness is being able to become aware of what is it that you're feeling. What are the messages from your intuition? And I will describe your intuition is the part of you. It is the gift from God, higher power, universe, whatever you choose to call it. It is your gift. Your intuition is your gift to navigate your life and to move forward in your life. And it is the way that you receive the communications to help you, to support you in navigating your earthly life. And that's why intuition is so important. That's why I love teaching about it, because your intuition is such a powerful tool to change your life. But in order to make the changes that you want to make, whether it's moving towards your purpose, destiny, mission, or whether it's which path do I follow? What step do I take? Sometimes you just need to break it down into next step. And if you don't know what the next step is, or you're not sure you're hearing, that's where the conscious awareness is. And your conscious awareness is bringing your attention back into you, back into your thoughts, your feelings, your body, your sensations. Conscious awareness is being able, I'll get there in a sec, Misty, is being able to become aware, even if you are in mind chatter, okay, and your mind is going da, 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 the thinking mode that I was talking about. Even if you're in thinking mode and then you say, I'm in thinking mode, and maybe you even hear my voice, because sometimes people have told me, oh, I hear your voice reminding me, telling me of this or that or whatever. And if you notice that you're in thinking mode, when you have conscious awareness, it empowers you to choose to do something different, to make a decision that will help you, inspire and empower you to help you to move forward. That's why conscious awareness is so important and so powerful. Okay. Misty asked, what if we didn't pick up on the gifts given? What if we missed our calling? So, Misty, I really, really, really want to support you in knowing I don't believe that you miss your calling. I really, like, it doesn't matter how late it is. You can move towards your calling. I will tell you, I'll give you the example of my father. Now, my father, throughout when I was growing up, my father had a health and beauty aid store. And he had his own business for years. And then basically he retired. And then in his 60s, he began to write. And before my father passed, actually before he got dementia, my father had written 5 fiction books. 5. Okay. So he started in his 60s and probably towards like over 65. And I will tell you that I'm in a coaching program, and there are women in the program that are in their 70s and even 80s that are moving towards their calling. So I really want to support you. If this was for you, Misty, and I want to support all of you, that no matter how old you are never too old to find your calling and follow it and be guided by it. And I also want you to know that what's happening more and more, because the age span keeps increasing because of scientific developments and improvements, and we're able to be older, the more and more people are finding their calling later in life. If you are one of the people that still not sure, and it doesn't matter how old you are, okay? I just really want you to know. You just need to take the first step. And the first step to listen to your heart's truth is being in the conscious awareness, is bringing your consciousness, your attention into present time. And a lot of what I do when I'm working with clients is I am focusing them on grounding and centering, bringing them back to centered, to feel, to be present with what it is they are feeling or sensing in the moment, even thinking. But I also want you to know that what happens is when you're in that conscious awareness, when you're in alignment, because that's what you want to be in alignment, body, mind, emotion, spirit. When you're in that alignment, you can hear and feel and sense and know your heart's truth. And your thinking mind is in alignment with your heart. How many of you have heard that you want to align your head and your heart? Because so often we are ruled by our head, not our heart. And now learning to be in alignment with your head and your heart is really important and really powerful. So, like, for example, and I can give you an example, there have been many people that I know or have heard of that felt like they needed to go in a certain career, like become a doctor or a lawyer. And then when they're in the career, whether they may be in school or they're actually doing the career, and all of a sudden they're like, this isn't really what I want. This isn't what I really want to do. And so following your heart's truth means you have the courage. And sometimes it takes a lot of courage. I would say a lot of the times. Because, like I said, to stay or go, if you're in a profession and then all of a sudden you're feeling drawn and guided to do something else. Now, if you're not clear and you're not sure, don't make any rushing decisions, okay? I really want to make that clear that it's what happens when you have a destiny, when you have a calling, it's not going to leave you alone. You're going to keep feeling it and you're going to keep being called to it. And it's also taking it step by step. What is the next step in terms of action that you need to take in order to move towards it? It may not be all at once. Like, for example, I told you as a teenager, I was like, I want to speak. As in college, I was terrified. And it wasn't until the early 90s, I went to college. Ah, this ages me, but I don't care. In the 80s. And it wasn't till about, let's say, almost 10 years later that I was being guided towards the beginning. Okay. It was only the very beginning, because what has happened through the years is I kept honing my skill. I kept getting clearer what I'm here to teach. And now I have been able to put it all together. And that's why I'm able to be sharing these things with you, because I've been in the journey for many, many years. And I may look at notes, but I also allow whatever information that spirit, the universe, and my soul, my guides and yours want you to know, I allow it to come through. And this is how I can support you in moving towards your calling and your destiny. So, and I also want to support you if you didn't pick up on the gifts you're given. I really, really want to support you in asking and looking. Now, you can ask a few people in your life, what do you think my gifts are? To get some, and you want to ask supportive people, okay? Not people who put you down, because that's not the kind of support you need. You need support. Okay, so you want to ask supportive people in your life, what do you think my gifts are? And then I also want you to know, and I'm going to define your gifts. Your gifts are something that you do so easily that other people have no clue. And it comes so easy to you that you're like, this is a gift. And I'm going to tell you, yes, it is. So from a very young age, people felt safe with me. And people wanted to share their problems and issues. And okay, I'll get to the question in a second. And people wanted to share their issues with me. And also, I will tell you that a lot of times your calling may and is based on what you've experienced in your life. So let me give you an example of that too. I'll give an example from my life. I'm doing a lot of reveal today, but that's okay, because I want to share and teach, and hopefully this will help. So when I was younger, and I've told you this, that I've had a lot of trauma. I had a lot of trauma growing up, and it was really hard. And then I also was bullied as part of the trauma. I had other trauma as well. And but bullying was part of it. And when I was in middle school, I was like, what should I do? Now, one of my okay, and I'll tell you, I asked my aunt. I was 14 years old, and I asked my aunt, who worked for Schubert Theaters at the time. That's on Broadway. It's one of the theater companies on Broadway, and she worked for Schubert Theaters. And I said, I want to be either an actress or a psychologist. And she said, please don't be an actress, be a psychologist. Now, first of all, I just want you to know acting is an amazing career. And it is, but she said, I know too many starving actresses. Okay. So what I did was I went towards psychology. Now, for me, okay, for me, I knew that it was the right path because I love psychology. I loved being and learning all about the mind and how it affects us and how we affect others. So psychology was definitely the path I was meant to go on, and I really believe my aunt was being guided to share that with me, even though it was coming from her limiting beliefs. And then, and at the time, I think I would have been too scared or shy to perhaps pursue acting. Maybe, I don't know. But I also know that now what I feel is I'm actually combining both of them. And not that I'm acting when I'm sharing with you, but you have to have some kind of stage presence. When you're speaking, the more you can be authentic and real and express and perhaps maybe do a little performing. Like my voice fluctuates, I'm not in monotone. And so it's been part of the journey. So I was being guided to go for psychology. And then my cousin actually said, I think you would go for social work. And I really believe that I was being guided by forces greater than people to be where I am. Because when I started my MSW program in social work, I knew it was the right place for me. I could feel it. I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. And so I was being guided towards my calling and my destiny. And I also want to support you in looking at other people and other possibilities that are calling you to perhaps support you in moving towards your destiny and your calling. So I will get to the question from Country Corners after this. I want to let you know that there is a free virtual masterclass I will be doing next Thursday, September 12th. No, yes, September 12th at 7:30 p.m. And it's Freedom and Fulfillment, 3 steps to boost your income in your soul aligned business. Again, it's for women only. Sorry, men. But this particular one is for women. And if you want to move forward in your soul aligned business and create more income, then you want to be at this virtual masterclass. So go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass. So it's the name of the show, Inspired and empoweredliving.com/masterclass, MASTERCLASS. Inspired and empowered living.com/masterclass. And during the masterclass, you will learn how to break free from limiting beliefs, how to tap into your intuition, and how to get into action and start the next step towards sharing your gifts with the world and increasing your profit while you do so. So definitely join me for my free virtual masterclass. All right. So the question is, should we be able to recognize what these are? So what I'm going to support you in doing, I have a few suggestions for you. One is you can ask people, but I also want to support you in looking at what your natural talents are. Mine is talking, but it's not only talking, mine is also listening. Okay. Now, obviously, when I'm doing the show, I need to do a lot of talking, but I'm also a great listener. And being able to listen is an important skill in the work that I do as a coach and a counselor. And those are natural abilities. And I also now I develop my speaking skill and my intuitive skill. So these are all the skills that I am using now. And there's more, but those are the ones that I'm sharing with you in this moment. So I want you to each of you, to take a look at your life and to start thinking, what do I love to do? What am I really good at? What skills and abilities do I have that maybe other people don't? Maybe you're a great cook. And like for me, I can be a great cook. When I'm in creative mode, because I love to create, and writing and creating content for my classes and meditations, allowing myself to just be a vehicle for spirit, the divine, to come through me. These are all my gifts and skills. What are yours? Again, natural abilities and skills that maybe you take for granted. And I really want to support you in starting to look at things that maybe you took for granted that are really skills that other people don't have. Maybe you are creative, and maybe the way you like to create is writing or painting. Maybe you're a musician or you like writing music, verse. Maybe it's not even necessarily writing the notes, but maybe it's writing lyrics. Maybe it's being able to share your thoughts and feelings, allowing yourself to be more vulnerable. There are so many ways that you have skills and abilities that maybe you're not even aware of. And so, what I really want to support you in doing is to really start becoming aware. What are your talents? What are the things that you do that maybe the people in your life don't do? And they're always saying, how do you do that? And what I would really like is next week, share with me what you feel that you've received or that you've looked at. So you can ask other people. You can start looking at what are the skills, what are the abilities, what are the talents that you have that other people may not. And I also want to support you. What if you could be an observer and actually imagine observing yourself, maybe observing yourself day to day. What would your observer self say to you that you're really good at? Ask yourself those questions. And then I really want to hear from you. What are your gifts, talents, abilities that maybe you've taken for granted, that you haven't been looking at, and you say to yourself, how am I going to make money? I don't want you thinking about how you're going to make money from it. Okay? Not yet. It's just starting to get in touch with those gifts, skills, and abilities. And as you do that, and start playing with them, start having fun with them. And that's how your heart is speaking to you. Playing, having fun, things that you love to do, passions that you have, all of those are ways your heart is speaking to you. And what if you were to write down what my heart is telling me now is, what my heart is telling me now is, and see what comes. Don't think, no thinking aloud, just write and see what happens. What my gifts and skills and abilities, this is another way that you can figure them out or discover them, I would rather say. Another way you can discover them is, what are my gifts and abilities, my talents? And then just write and see what comes. That's what I want to support you all in doing. And as you allow yourself to write, and not, this is coming, and maybe you need to ground yourself and come present into conscious awareness and breathe and see what comes. Okay, Misty S, is that auto writing? It can be, yes. To me, when you allow yourself to just let that energy flow, what's happening is you're starting to tap into higher mind. And that higher mind can be your higher self, the wise, unconditionally loving part of you. It can be your soul, and it can also be your subconscious, which they're all connected. They're all connected. So yes, in a sense, it is automatic writing. And I really want to support just allowing, letting it flow. So that's what I want to support you to do. And then I really want to hear what you get. So to be continued next week on Listening to Your Heart's Truth, Part 2. And join me for my free virtual masterclass on Thursday, September 12th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, so that you can break free from limiting beliefs or learn how to tap into your intuition and how to get into action. So definitely looking forward to seeing you there. And join me next week for more inspired and empowered living on w4wn.com, talk4tv.com, my YouTube channel, and join us for the podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and many more. And I'm wishing you all an inspired and empowered day and an inspired and empowered week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.